In the hottest hour of one Monday afternoon, in the Amagada kingdom, a set of twins were born into the family of Papa and Mama Okas. Their father was a successful gold merchant that traded far and wide. Papa Okas named the newborn twins Ojin and Akir. As the twins grew, there was a great physical difference between them despite the fact that they were fed the same meal and ate at the same time, yet the twin named Ojin looked too thin, skinny, and tall. While as Akir the other twin looked chubby as they grew older. Ojin became the object of mockery for everyone in the village because of her figure. They called her horrible names like skeleton, and she would often cry back home where her parents always do their best to pacify her. Even her twin sister Akir would also give her words of encouragement. No one wanted to be around her. Most social groups in the village rejected her. The few groups that accepted her used every chance they got to humiliate her and laugh at her until she gets tired, fed up, and stop attending their meetings. Akir, her twin sister, on the other hand, had so many friends and was a member of various social groups in the village. The only thing that kept Ojin sane in all of this madness was her cooking skills. She was a really wonderful cook. To the extent that whenever she prepares food for her family, everyone ends up licking their fingers and praising her for the delicious meal. Her home was really the safe place for her, but whenever she steps out of the house, the wolves in form of villagers are always there to ridicule her for being skinny, especially whenever she and her twin sister go to the market. People start to stare, compare, whisper, and gossip. One afternoon the twins headed to the market to get some food ingredients. Akir, why did you suck Ojin's blood? A fish seller said this while giggling hard, and everyone in the market joined in laughing at her. Watch out for the strong wind tomorrow, Ojin, so you don't lose your balance. Another person added, Ojin was so sad and dejected she couldn't even utter a word. You should all be ashamed of yourselves. Akir fired back angrily. Most of you have children, and if you don't it must be because you are too bitter to have one, but I am sure you have siblings, yet you behave like fools. Ojin was so happy that her twin sister had her back. Akir would always stand up against this mean bullies until one day Akir's boyfriend named Ozuji came visiting. Ozuji is the son of a famous cocoa farmer, and he has been in a love relationship with Akir for the past 3 years. He came to inform her that they won't be getting married anymore because his family are not in support of their union. Why? Am I not good enough for you? Akir asked Ozuji in tears. You know you are perfect, but my parents fear your twin sister skinny gene might manifest on our children if we get married. Akir couldn't believe her relationship came crashing down, and she began to resent her twin sister. She was crying to sleep every night. She was also sent out of all our social groups because people didn't like how she stood up for her skinny twin sister. Akir blamed all this woes and misfortunes on her sister Ojin, and decided she was going to make her life miserable. One day Ojin cooked a delicious meal for the house like she always did, but Akir came into the kitchen and poured sand into the pot of food her sister just made. Ojin looked confused. Why did you do that? She screamed. Shut your mouth, skinny witch. Akir fired back. The following week Ojin fetched a bucket of water and left it in the bathroom to go into her room and get herself changed before having a bath. Akir sneaked into the bathroom and poured a substance into her sister's bathing water unknowing to Ojin. She returned and took her bath with the contaminated water. Her body started to itch all over. She scratched herself so bad and screamed loudly. Her parent had to rub her body with palm oil before the itching reduced. Akir was laughing all through, which made Ojin realize her twin sister had done this to her, unlike before when she stood up for her in public. Now, whenever they go to the market, Akir would loudly call Ojin a skinny skeleton in the presence of everyone to make them see and hear she's done standing up for her. This made Ojin so sad and she cried day and night. Their parents would scold Akir and warn her to desist from humiliating Ojin. Akir blamed all this woes and misfortunes on her sister Ojin. She is your twin sister, for crying out loud. I didn't raise you this way, their mother would say, but still Akir felt no remorse and refused to listen. Ojin destroyed my life. The love of my life Ozuji left me because of this thin stick, Akir shouted. Their mother, who couldn't believe what she just said, got so angry and slapped Akir hard on the cheek. There was mockery and humiliation every day for Ojin, from her twin sister Akir and the entire village. But there came a time the neighboring village known as Idaho Kingdom and 2 other neighboring kingdoms named Awadu and Bodu were preparing for a once-in-a-decade contest called the Queen Maiden Competition. 4 This competition, each kingdom was supposed to put out 3 of their most capable competitives and all beautiful maiden out to represent their kingdom. The villagers in Amagada started projecting the names of the 3 maidens they like or think would represent their kingdom in the Queen Maiden competition. Some even jokingly mentioned Ojin's name and they all laughed out mockingly. One of them added, "Who will put a skeleton forward to represent humans?" and they all laughed again. One of the other kingdoms would be hosting this year's competition because Amagada hosted the last one. Ojin went to fetch water at the village stream one afternoon, when she met a man called Oho. Oho is one of the organizers of the Queen Maiden competition from the neighboring kingdom hosting this year's contest, but Ojin didn't know this. Immediately he saw Ojin, he was so thrilled and amazed by her stature. "What beauty is this?" he said to Ojin. "You are blessed with a lovely figure that many people would kill for," Oho added. Ojin looked so confused hearing these words she felt he was just being sarcastic, but Oho was looking really thrilled and he told her he was in their village to get the names of the 3 maidens that will be representing them in the upcoming competition. "I am sure your name would be on the list because you look fit for the competition," Oho said confidently, but Ojin told him that that was not going to happen because everyone hated her in the village and wouldn't even think of recommending her for such competition. She also said aside her parent he was the first person to ever think of her stature as good, everyone else called her skeleton and other bad names. Oho was shocked to hear this and persuaded her to dress well and make sure to come watch the competition, even if she wasn't going to partake. Ojin hesitated, and she agreed to show up on the day of the competition. The other 2 kingdoms, Idaho and Awadu, traveled down to the palace of the host kingdom where the competition would take place. The twins and their parents were also present, all looking radiant and elegant, after the 3 girls representing each kingdom in the competition were called out by the organizers. The organizers also announced that there would be an additional contestant. Sponsored by the host king himself, one of the privileges the host king enjoys in the Queen Maiden competition is the power to add 1 more maiden as one of the contestants. Everyone was eager to know the lucky maiden that will be joining the other 9 contestants. The organizers then called out the name of Ojin as the chosen contestant sponsored by the king to join the other maidens. She was so shocked, and her fellow villagers were also confused, shocked and jealous of this. Even Akir, her twin sister, was so angry and sad. But what will a drumstick be useful for in this contest? Akir mumbled to herself, but all of them couldn't do anything to stop it. Ojin's parents were so happy for their girl and started clapping hard and cheering her on. She is still in shock. She hesitated to step out at first, but her parents kept clapping and this boosted her confidence. She stepped out looking so tall and elegant. She had dressed so elegantly and with grace. She joined the other 9 maidens and the competition began. The first stage was the cooking contest. The competing maidens were all taxed with cooking traditional dishes. Ojin, who already had superb culinary skills, finished preparing a meal quickly. It was like a walk in the park for her. The judges tasted the meals cooked by the 10 maidens and announced the 5 maidens who did so well and would be proceeding to the next stage of the competition. It was no surprise to hear Ojin as one of the 5 victors. After all, she is a good cook who made delicious meals already for her family before the contest. The second stage was about finding a treasure that was hidden in the forest, and the first maiden to return with the hidden treasure would be crowned the Queen Maiden of the 3 kingdoms. The 5 maidens had to swim across a river to get to the forest where the treasure was hidden. Many of the maidens couldn't swim fast enough. But Ojin could swim a lot faster because she was fit and had light weights. She was the fastest swimmer. She got into the forest and started searching all over for the treasure. She searched and 15 minutes in she was still searching. Another maiden named Yuguwa finished swimming and proceeded to the forest. She saw Ojin and also started searching for the treasure. Few minutes Ojin looked at direction in the bush and saw a blue shiny treasure. That must be it. She screamed, forgetting it was a competition. The other maiden Yuguwa heard this and raced over to the treasure direction. It turned into a running competition because now Ojin had to catch up. Both of them ran, but unfortunately for Ojin her cloth got hooked by a tree branch. She fell to the ground, and Yuguwa got to the treasure before her. But something unexpected happened. Ojin still on the floor, she saw a lot of other blue treasures in the bushes. They looked just like the first one she saw, and this made something click in Ojin's head. These blue treasures were a bunch of distractions from the real treasure they had come to find. Ojin stood up and wanted to tell Yuguwa and the other maidens, but she learned from her previous mistake and decided to keep this discovery to herself. Yugua on the other hand raced back to the riverbank with the fake treasure and told the 3 other maidens she had found the treasure. They believed her and felt they already lost the competition, so together they swam back to the kingdom. Ojin, still searching the forest, felt water drip on her from above. She looked up and saw a golden box on a tree. It sparkled so much, and this convinced Ojin it was the real treasure they were looking for. Because of her tall figure, she climbed the tree easily and carried the golden box. She opened it and saw several other colors of those blue treasures she saw in the bushes. She closed the box and journeyed back to the palace. Ojin got to the palace and every single eye was on her. She looked so tired carrying the big box of treasure. Immediately she got to the rest of the contestants, including Yugua, who was looking at her with so much envy. The organizers unveiled the drawing of the treasure the maidens were supposed to return with, and to Ojin's fellow villagers' surprise, Ojin came back with the exact treasure. She was declared the winner, crowned, and named the Queen Maiden of the 3 Kingdoms. She was also given lots of treasures such as gold, clothes, and the villagers were shocked at first. Immediately they all started showing her fake affection and apologizing for how they treated her. Her parents were overjoyed, and Akira, her twin sister, felt so ashamed and didn't know what to say to her. When they returned home, remembering how much she humiliated her twin sister, Akira decided she would pack her things out of the house because she was so ashamed of herself, but Ojin stopped her. "Why would you leave your family?" Ojin asked. Akira started crying. "I am so sorry for how I treated you, Ojin. You are my twin sister, but I treated you like an animal. I prefer to please outsiders than my own flesh and blood. Let me just leave. This shame is too much for me to bear." Akira cried out loud. "Akira, I can never hate you. We came to this world through our mother's womb on the same day. I love you no matter what. Akira, I forgive you." The twin sisters hugged each other and lived happily ever after. The moral lessons of this story is that we should all embrace ourselves no matter your situation. There is always beauty in being unique or different. Stop listening to the noise in form of mockery or humiliation from other people, and because only you can show them what you've got. Always bear in mind that there is a reason God created you in a unique way. Please like, subscribe and comment what you think about this story. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.